Hey guys, it's Jade and welcome back to another video on my channel. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about 10 things that I wish I knew before college. So if you guys are new to my channel, hey, my name is Jade. I just finished my freshman year of college at Lee University, and there are a ton of things that I have just kind of been going over in my head that I wanted to share with you guys who may be incoming freshmen to college. If you guys are new to my channel, make sure to subscribe down below for more fun summer content, as well as give this video a big thumbs up. So the first thing that I feel like I wish I knew before I went to college is to throw out all of my expectations. I feel like college brings with it so many expectations. Like there's just that typical college experience that everyone talks about and kind of romanticizes your entire high school and middle school life. In reality, and this is not meaning to sound pessimistic or anything like that, but the college experience is just completely different for everyone. I think it's good to go in having an excited and optimistic view on college and how you want it to look like, but don't be too disappointed if things don't go exactly according to plan. For me, my expectations ended up breeding a lot of just negativity and a lot of discontentment with where I was at in college and where I was at with everything my first semester. And when I came home for winter break, really being able to reevaluate my expectations, reevaluate where I was, really allowed me to be so thankful and grateful for the experience that I did have this year. And now I see my freshman year as one of the greatest years of my life. The second thing that I wish I knew is be prepared to rely on yourself for a little while. Now, you may be going to college with your best friend and with your entire friend group from high school, and if that is the case, that's awesome, go you. But in my case, I went with absolutely no one. Now, I've always been a little bit more of an independent person, and when I thought about college, the idea of getting to go with nobody that I knew was kind of an exciting thing, and I was gonna get to make all new friends and so many new people to meet. It's a really good thing to go by yourself. But once you get there, you're making all these new friends, you kind of remember that, wait, these people who are quote unquote my closest friends at college, I've really only known for a couple months, so they don't know all this about my life and all the things I've gone through and different things I'm self-conscious about, whatever, all these things that maybe your friends in high school who have known you for 18 years knew. And that feeling, once you kind of make that realization, can be a little bit lonely and can be a little bit isolating. So my best tip for you guys is just to kind of be prepared for that feeling, and at least for the little while, even if you're surrounded by a million friends. When I started off my freshman year, I got thrown into an incredible group of friends. There was just 1,000,001 people. I was always surrounded by people, but yet I still felt lonely and still felt isolated because in the end, none of those people really knew me yet. You have to be patient and let those relationships grow. And so just be prepared to rely on yourself for a little bit. My third thing that I wish I knew before college, and my best tip to give for you guys, is to reach out to everyone and step outside of what is comfortable. So this one I think is one that I actually did pretty well when I went to school, as I really did just reach out to anyone I met and made plans with everyone I met, and I really ended up having a really great beginning of my freshman year because of that. I made a lot of different friends in a lot of different areas. This was more something that I just noticed among my peers and my friends from high school when we would catch up and talk about how their college experience was going, that I felt like I should just mention in this video. Now, being best friends with your college roommate and stuff like that is amazing, and the people who you meet in your first class or your gateway or whatever class, that's amazing, and I think that that can be encouraged. Your roommates can be your best friends for the next 4 years. However, I feel like sometimes people can get a little bit too comfortable hanging out with just their group of 4 and their little roommate suite, or just them and their roommate if you're not in suite style. And they don't really reach out to meet new people, and they really only stay within the realms of things that they're comfortable with. So people within their major, or people in their dorm, or people in who's their roommate. So my advice and encouragement to you guys is to really step outside of what is your immediate circles and put yourself out there a little bit and go introduce yourself to new friend groups or new people, because in the end, like, you're probably not gonna find your lifelong best friend the first month of school. For me, I found my best friends, my ride or die people who I'm gonna live with next year, my second semester. So I'm not saying that none of my first semester friends were the greatest people ever, because they were, but it takes meeting people in a lot of different areas of life and a lot of different clubs or atmospheres or whatever to be able to find the people who are really gonna be your long-lasting friends. The fourth thing that I wanna mention for you guys is to set your intentions before you go to school. This is one that I'm actually really big about, so I did do this before I went to school, but I felt like it was something that I really wanted to put in this video, and something that I felt like I saw a lot of people struggle with when I got to school. So it's no shock and it's no surprise that college is going to be a huge adjustment. Like, even if you don't think it is, which I did not think college was going to be a big adjustment for me. I was like, I'm independent, I've been dreaming of college since the day I came out of my mother's womb. I was so ready to go, but ended up being a huge adjustment for me, and I struggled with the change more than I thought I would. So with all that being said, there becomes a lot more choices, and when you're on your own, you really get to decide who you want to be and how you want to live your life. Now, I'm not saying any choices are necessarily bad or whatever, or you need to do this or not to do this, but I think it's good to always have in the back of your mind, what do I want to be? So for me, things that I like to practically think about like the summer beforehand is, what type of friend do I want to be? Who are the type of people that I want to be friends with? Who do I want to surround myself with? And think about that. So I can surround myself when I get to school, already have in the back of my mind that I want to be surrounded by this type of people. And that even applies to things like drinking, which is going to be something that whatever college you go to, you're going to face. It's also good to think about like whether or not you want to do certain clubs or certain activities, even things down to as simple and as harmless as that. I just think it's good to go ahead in your mind, set your boundaries for yourself, set your intentions for the year, because once you get there, it's going to be so easy to be peer pressured into something that maybe you don't necessarily want to do, or have to make a decision within a split second that you really hadn't well thought out what you wanted to do with that yet. The fifth thing that I wish I knew before college is to learn how to say no and reject FOMO. This was the biggest struggle, especially of my first semester. Sis has got some FOMO. I could not say no to any plans. Everything was always so fun, but when you're in college, y'all, there is gonna be an unlimited number of plans. There is just no way to go to everything. If you guys are new to my channel, I'm also a nursing major. I don't know if I mentioned that in the beginning of this video. And with that comes a lot of demand on your academic work. We're taking very tough classes, we are taking a lot of hours per semester, and the teachers expect a lot from us. So a lot of times I did have to say no to plans because of homework. I did have to say no to plans in order to get proper study time. I even had to say no to plans just to have some time to myself, just to have some alone time. I am as extroverted as you possibly can be, but to be able to keep your mental sanity, everybody needs a little bit of rest time, everybody needs a little bit of alone time, and if you don't do that, you're gonna end up shoving down things that you need to process. So anyways, I don't even feel like I can speak on this one because I'm definitely not very good at it yet. A big tip I have for you guys is learn how to say no to things, know that you're not gonna be missing out, and just try as best as you can to reject the inevitable FOMO that is going to happen your freshman year of college. The sixth thing I wish I knew before college is to learn how to budget and save money. And a tip that goes along with that is to find free activities in your area. So I ended up doing a little bit better with this than I thought I initially was going to. But at the same time, I definitely spent way more money on things like eating out, random, if I wanted to buy some clothes or something. I wasn't horrible with that one, but I still did buy some things I probably didn't need along the way. And honestly, just spending so much money on gas and things like that to go to all these different places when I didn't even necessarily need to. So luckily, where my school is, it's in Cleveland, Tennessee. We are right in the mountains, so there's 1,000,001 free outdoorsy activities and things like that to do. But I think that something that I would really recommend to you guys is to learn how to budget your finances, save your money from your summer job. Save your money from your summer job, because even if you are going to be working in college, there really won't be a whole lot of time. And I do encourage you guys, I know that everyone's financial situation is different. If you can either work less or not work your first semester of freshman year, I think that that can be really beneficial for your adjustment and really beneficial for making friends. But that does take a little bit of pre-thought and making sure that you're working like a lot. I worked a ton the semester or the summer before my freshman year of college, and I saved all of that money, and I saved graduation money and everything like that. So long story short, learn how to save your money, learn how to budget how much you want to spend per week on things like gas, groceries, and the necessities, and already go ahead and start making a list of fun free activities that you can do in your college town or around your college, so that when you get to school and people want to hang out and do things, you already have some ideas that you can propose that don't cost money. Number 7, this is such an interesting one, and I could get a little heated about it if I wanted to, but I'll restrain myself. So number 7, popularity is irrelevant in college. However, there will still be people who chase it. Gosh, I could literally make a whole video just ranting about this if I'm being so honest with you, but to keep it short and sweet, popularity is so stupid. That is so high school, that is so middle school, it doesn't exist. Nobody really sees anyone as better than anybody else when you get to college. It goes out the window, which is a blessing, it's amazing, but there will still be those people that chase popularity, treat you like they're beneath you and don't want to hang out with you or whatever because you're not seen as cool as them or whatever, or how they view themselves. So it's going to be really easy to label groups of friends or people as, oh, those are like popular kids or whatever, you know, like your brain will revert to thinking that because that's how it was a lot of the times in high school and middle school. But try to be really proactive about not seeing people like that. Don't approach people out of fear because no one is better than you. And honestly, a lot of times those people, yes, there are people who still chase popularity and they're going to use you as a stepping stone to get to other people. But most of the time, people that are seen as like those popularity type people don't really see themselves like that, and they're actually just looking for friends just like anybody else. So never be afraid to reach out. I just wanted to put that in there because it's going to be something that you still face, but it's not true. So just don't believe it. Don't buy into it. Popularity does not exist. Number 8, this is a big one that I wish I knew before I went to college, is Instagram is not people's real experiences. And don't compare your college experience to other people's. So this can be within people that you know from your college, or even within your people from back home and from who you went to high school with, seeing all their different college experiences on Instagram. I know that it was really hard for me when I first got to school, seeing all the people who had rushed a sorority when they had just gotten to school and they just immediately had all these friends and had all these adorable Instagram pictures and they were thriving. At my school, we don't really have real sororities. We do have like Greek clubs, so I am in one of those, but we don't rush until the spring. So I saw all those and it was so easy to compare, and you just see everyone's Instagrams, and even within people from my school, you would see like a group of people getting together and you're friends with them, but you weren't invited, and all sorts of stuff like this. This is very typical. This is something that we've all struggled with even through high school, but Instagram is just really not the reality of people's experiences. Honestly, I can even put this on myself. If you looked at my Instagram from first semester of college, I was posting a new picture with a million different people in it and a new crazy adventure that we went on almost every single weekend on my Instagram. And if you look at it now, those were some of the greatest experiences. They truly were. I had so much fun my first semester of college. But what Instagram doesn't show is that I also struggled a lot with my mental health. I struggled a lot with feeling really lonely and isolated. And there were times that I wanted to transfer after my end of my first semester. I was looking up Tennessee Tech tuition rates, sis. Like, I was ready to get out of there. But my Instagram doesn't show that. So just know that, number 1, Instagram is not the reality of someone's college experience. And B, don't compare your experience to others. Everyone's timing in college is going to be different. I can even see this within my own story. When I first came to Lee, I got thrown into this huge friend group. I had this amazing time. We hung out every second of every single day. We were going on adventures, back to back on days. I would never get back to my dorm till like 1 or 2 in the morning because we were always doing something, and I was living the dream. But then later on in the semester, towards the end of my first semester, I felt so lonely and isolated. I didn't know who my real friends were. I still was surrounded by people a lot of the times, but I didn't really feel like I mattered or I was important, and I was struggling and things like that. And I had a really hard end of my semester. But a lot of times when you first get to college, you're not going to be thrown into this amazing friend group. You're going to struggle to make friends right off the bat, or you're not going to have a whole ton. But then maybe later on, towards the end of the semester, you're thriving, having the time of your life while someone else isn't. So never compare your timing. My camera died. Oops. Anyways, I was kind of rambling, so it's probably good that my camera cut me off. All I want to say with this one is that everyone's timing with college is going to be different. You can either jump right in and have the time of your life, but maybe struggle your second semester or later in your first semester, or you can have a slower start. You can really have a hard adjustment when you first get there, but then grow into it, have this great and amazing experience later on down the road. Even for me, I would vouch that my second semester was better than my first semester of college, but they're just both different in different ways, and I think that everyone is gonna have a way different path with college. So my encouragement is just to not feel like you have to follow a certain path. Number 9 is to practice gratitude. This is one that I kind of mentioned earlier about how when you compare your college experience to what your expectations were, a lot of the times it breeds a lot of negativity, and it did in my life. I just struggled because I was like, this is not what I feel like I worked my whole life to get to. But it's always good, and what will really, really affect how your freshman year of college goes is if you practice gratitude or not. I had my fair share of struggles my first semester and even my second semester as well when things were a lot better. But to me, I still look back on both semesters, my entire freshman year, as one of the greatest experiences of my life, because not only did I make great friends and have fun experiences and do all this happy positive stuff, I also went through a lot and I struggled a lot, but I grew so much. I grew to new levels in my walk with Christ and new levels with just my self-confidence and me as a person that I ever even thought possible. I did not think I could even get to the point that I am now, being so happy and just so full. And that's something to also be grateful for. So just always consistently, even if it just takes writing down 3 things in the morning that you're thankful for when you're going through one of the hardest weeks of your life at school, it really will help, and it really does change your outlook, and it does affect how you see your freshman year. So the last one, and one that I actually was told by my dad for years before I went to school, and especially as I was making my college decision, is college is what you make it. You are where you're supposed to be. So yes, every single college is a little bit different and has different experiences and stuff like that, but in the end, if you're not going to your top choice school, I am not going to my top choice school. I am where I'm supposed to be now. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else, but my story is very interesting with college. Maybe I'll make a video on that later, or if you follow me on Instagram, you would know, because I've made videos on Instagram about it. But you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Like, whether or not you believe in God, I am religious, you guys know this, I'm a Christian. I do believe that God places you exactly where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. And sometimes that does mean transferring halfway through school, but that time or that first year, even if you had a really hard first year of college, doesn't mean it was wasted. Doesn't mean it was the wrong choice, because you were where you were supposed to be. You grew from that, you learned from that, and now you're going to where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. But for the new seniors, as you are going into your freshman year of college, even if you're not going to first choice, or even if you are, just know that college is exactly what you make it. So by using some of these tips, and by even just going out there and being yourself and kind of choosing your own path, you will have the college experience that you want. So, I would just encourage you to reach out to people, join those clubs. Don't do anything out of fear of being judged, and just keep pushing, keep going, even through those hard times, because again, college is what you make it. You don't have to go to your dream school or this amazing, whatever, trendy, popular school to have an amazing college experience. So that is my last thing that I feel like I wish I knew before college. And even though I knew that, I guess I just wish that I understood that. Alright guys, so those are 10 things that I wish I knew before my freshman year of college. I hope that this video helped you guys and it could either be informative / a little bit encouraging to those of you going into your freshman year of college. If you guys have any more college related videos you want to see on my channel this summer for before we go back to school, or just talking about my freshman year or whatever, leave it in the comment section down below, along with any other questions you have, because I do reply to pretty much every comment, so I will answer your questions down below. If you guys are new to my channel, make sure to subscribe down below, as well as give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it. Make sure to go over and follow me on Instagram. It's just @jadebenward. I have really been trying to grow my Instagram and be more active over there with you guys. I've been posting a lot. That is really where you get to see what my everyday life looks like in college and just in life. I seriously learned so much my freshman year of college, and it was one of the greatest experiences of my life because of the high points and because of the low points, and I'm really excited to get to share all of these things with you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I think that that will be it for today's video. Bye guys. Missing someone. Missing someone. Missing someone.